Hi everyone, thank you for popping by, and I do appreciate you subscribing, watching and commenting, of course. So, bit of a heavy heart as I talk about this issue. You may or may not be aware that JW.org has a new book out, and this is Pure Worship of Jehovah, Restored at Last, and it's looking particularly at the book of Ezekiel. I confess, in my JW time, this would have got my juices going. I'd have been very excited and really looked into it. However, I've not looked into the whole book now, but however, the bits I've seen have given me a very heavy heart. So I'm just going to share some parts with you, and I'm sure you'll have much better reactions than I, and much more insightful reactions. So here we go.
Jehovah loves people, but he also holds us accountable for our actions. How does Jehovah feel about those who claim to worship him but betray him by their conduct? How will he determine who survives the Great Tribulation? Why will Jehovah, a God of love, execute millions of people? Those questions are answered in section 4 of the Pure Worship book, based on Ezekiel 39:25. It's entitled, I Will Zealously Defend My Holy Name. The depth of Jehovah's feelings are vividly conveyed in the first chapter of this section. It has the title, I Will Bring an End to Your Prostitution. That title's drawn from Ezekiel 16:41. They will burn your houses with fire and execute judgment on you before the eyes of many women. And I will bring an end to your prostitution, and you will stop giving payment. As you study this chapter, look for these key points. Why is comparing false religion to a prostitute an effective illustration? What do the prostitutes of Ezekiel chapters 16 and 23 teach us about Jehovah's feelings regarding false worship? What lies ahead for false religion? And what action should we take now? It's so comforting to know that Jehovah has a strong emotional attachment to those who serve him. But that special relationship brings with it a serious responsibility. Never would we want to hurt Jehovah's feelings. May this chapter strengthen your resolve to give Jehovah the pure worship that rightly belongs only to him.
Can I throw up now? So here we are on chapter 15. Typical Watchtower picture there. Remember these sorts of things from the 80s. Now updated. I will bring an end to your prostitution, or as Mo you're going to find will say, prostitution. Focus what we learn from the descriptions of the prostitutes in Ezekiel and in Revelation. We're certainly going to find here what Watchtower thinks of prostitutes. So let's have a look. So we've got the overall for chapters, for paragraphs 1 and 2. What kind of prostitute in particular might elicit a strong feeling of revulsion? So we have paragraph 1. It is a troubling thing to see a prostitute. We may wonder what circumstances led her to such a degrading way of life. Did violence or abuse at home impel her to take to the streets at a tender age? Or did extreme poverty drive her to sell herself into slavery? Or was she fleeing a brutal mate? Such sad stories unfold all too often in this wicked world. It is no wonder then that Jesus Christ singled out some prostitutes, treating them kindly. He stressed that those who repented and changed their lifestyle could hope for a better life. I have problems with this. So can we see that prostitutes are only referred to as women? And the word women for me, is they're talking here about women who are adults, okay? So prostitutes indeed can be male. Sadly, many prostitutes or people who have to act in such a way are children. Adults and children of both sexes are kidnapped, bought, sold and they have no choice. They have absolutely no choice. They are in a slavery, but it's not actually referred to in the proper slavery here. It is big business. We have, right now as I speak, there are children and adults around the world who are prisoners. They are locked in rooms. They are maybe on drugs to numb them, to make them acquiescent, to paralyze them, to make them give what their owners wish them to give to make money. This paragraph does not cover at all what is really happening. Did you notice also it does not speak at all about the people that go to purchase those services? You notice that's not said? Interesting. And why not? Why not? I don't know. It's the focus is all on the person who is involved. There are just so many reasons, so many nuances. We can go around the world. We can, societally, there are just so many structures, so many wrongs going on, so many children that are needing to be fed. And in some societies, there is just nowhere else. There's no other way for a woman to feed her children. But we must talk about the pimps, we must talk about the drug issues, we also must talk about other factors of abuse and erosion of a person that put them in this situation. It can be a long process, a lifetime of pain that puts someone in this. And that needs to be spoken about. But no. Let's just give a few examples of why we should make allowances. But they don't cover anything. This is just so surface, and there's just no compassion, and I don't see love here at all. Let's go on to the second paragraph. It says, however, let us imagine a very different kind of prostitute. Picture a woman. Please note, they're only talking about women. Still going along with only a woman can be a prostitute. No, this can be a man as well. Picture a woman who deliberately chooses such a life. She sees it not as degrading, but as empowering. She is eager for the money and influence that this profession offers. Worse yet, what if this woman had a good loyal husband? But she willfully betrayed him in order to pursue prostitution. It would be difficult to feel anything but revulsion for such a woman. I have to put a question mark because I can't go with that. And the course of life she has chosen. The strong reaction that we feel is a key reason why Jehovah God repeatedly uses the description of a prostitute woman to show according to jw.org, to show how he feels about false religion. So, is it difficult to feel anything but revulsion for someone in that situation? No, it's not. Because there are so many circumstances, there are just so many factors, and we don't know someone's life until we listen and we hear. And surely the first approach should be compassion. That's what Jesus showed. It was compassion. He saw inside. We can't see that, but we can feel it. We can make an attempt to feel another person's heart. No, it's not revulsion. I may feel sadness. There's just so many things, but I mean, revulsion is just so judgmental. There are just so many layers to society, so many things that people go through. I've seen so much of it myself. When I was young, I used to be offered this, that, to do this and that. No, I had a strong course myself, but that was because I knew elements of myself Even with abuse, I knew elements. But other people, particularly if they've been abused, they can feel so worthless. And this can be a way of gaining back their worth. This can be a way, and I'm not saying, it doesn't mean that anyone who's abused goes down this path. As I'm saying, I've been an example of not doing that. But I can really see how someone who has been, because children are bought and sold, and Jehovah's Witness children have been bought and sold for sexual gratification. And also with, the physical abuse, the self-worth can be so low. These sorts of things can be ways of building up self-worth. And who are we to judge? Who are we to judge? We can hold out a hand and talk with someone about it and give that person value outside of those dynamics. We can do that for someone. But these harsh words they're just so horrible. So I'm jumping through the paragraphs here, but some points to bring out. So we've got this thing in number 9. We cannot worship Jehovah acceptably unless we worship him exclusively. For the sake of illustration, we might think of a marriage. Both husband and wife have the right to expect a certain kind of exclusivity. If either mate were to give romantic or sexual attention to someone outside the marriage, the other mate would rightly feel jealous and betrayed. I just wanted to show you this. This is a video from Christian Spylock Freedom. Now have a look. He's really put down how Jeffrey's dancing here. That looks like his wife in the blue skirt. Okay, that looks like her, his second wife. But look what they pointed out to us. It's going to be a bit spooky. So there he is, and there's his wife. She is really trying to please him. Look at that. She's really going, oh, I'm pleasing you, and look at me. She's really trying to be pleasing. But look where his eyes are. Look. Oh man, like, no, he doesn't deserve his work. Sorry, can't say that. Imagine Jehovah's pain and revulsion as he exposed the wickedness of his chosen people. You took your sons and your daughters whom you have born to me, and you sacrificed these to idols to be devoured. Have your acts of prostitution not gone far enough? You slaughtered my sons. I'm thinking of the unbiblical blood policy. I'm thinking of the suicides. You slaughtered my sons, and you offered them as sacrifices by making them pass through the fire. Too many fires to pass through for Jehovah's Witnesses. Too many fires which lead to death. They carry on. The unspeakable horror of such deeds shines a light on the wicked heart of Satan. How he loves to lure Jehovah's people into such revolting practices. But Jehovah sees all. God can undo even the worst of satanic atrocities, and he will exact justice. That's what's happening. That's what's happening in the courts. That's what's happening around the world. That's what's happening within governments. This is going to be a bit strong, but it's from the horse's mouth. God's people ignored countless warnings and continued in their revolting course. What would Jehovah do? He promised Jerusalem, I am collecting together all the lovers you have given pleasure to. It's kind of a bit too much information there. So who has Watchtower given pleasure to? Well, they've given pleasure to the United Nations by supporting them, haven't they? Of course, there is much to be said about this particular chapter, but I shall try and conclude. They are talking in paragraph 21, when the governments of this world turn against Babylon the Great, they will be carrying out an execution of God's judgment. Now, governments are investigating, not turning against, but they're investigating Jehovah's Witnesses because of their abuse problems. So it's not working out as they wanted. Here you have in their picture of a Babylon the Great church in desolation. But that can be said very much for the kingdom halls, because they are empty, many are empty, and they are being sold off and consolidated. So it doesn't work. This picture does not work. You have many things yourself to look up there. And were Jehovah's Witnesses as an organisation, not the baseline rank and file, but the organisation really loving and practicing that love, hey, you'll get no argument from me. But that's not happening. So here we go. Have a look yourselves, and I'd be interested to see what you think. Thanks ever so much for watching. Bye for now.